episode of What You Doing, the interview podcast where I talk to cool people about the amazing stuff they're working on. My name is Matt, and this time I'm sitting down with Meghan Cross to discuss her upcoming game, Homecoming, available now on Kickstarter. Homecoming is one of 3 games Possible Worlds Games is currently kickstarting as a little bundle, along with Cross Century Nights by James D'Amato and Chuck by Tyler himself. I was so excited to see this announcement, as I mentioned during the interview. I'm a big fan of Possible Worlds games and obviously Meghan, and this was just so exciting. I had to get her on the podcast as quick as I could. But enough out of me. Let's get to the interview. I love the slow turn of like looking at something then like, what?
All of the animals in my house are over my shit at all times.
We have, I'm not going to say too many because that would imply that I wish there were fewer of them. But we have a senior dog and 2 cats, and boy, let me tell you.
Yeah, this is my golden child. She is my soul dog, the light of my life. I do love all of my children, but my other dog, on a daily basis, I want to throw into the sun.
You're like, listen, I would never do anything to hurt you, but also,
I know.
Ooh.
I'm like I would jump in front of a bullet for you. I would do whatever it takes to keep you safe and happy. I will throw you directly into the sun if you do not stop barking at nothing. And I think that's parenting.
Yeah, I think that's it. Like, I think that's the secret is being able to hold both of those thoughts in your head at the same time.
Yep.
That's why all parents go a little crazy.
Yeah, I would die for you. I also wish I could.
Yeah, I also. Congrats on being the first repeat guest. First with an asterisk. I was talking to Cameron on Tuesday. And Cameron, I told Cameron, I was like, Cameron, you're the first asterisk repeat guest in that I've filmed your episode first. But also Meghan's is going to be out first. So you're going to have like a twins rivalry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, they're 4 minutes older than me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So if
my best friend has twins, so I know exactly what that's like. She has they're 4 and they've started asking and she's like, I'm not telling them who was born first.
That's a good idea.
She's like, you can 100, they're 4 minutes apart, but you can 100% tell which one is older just based on, because they have an older son and then the twins, and the one who's the older twin has so much middle child energy and the younger twin has so much youngest child energy. That's
so funny.
Even if you didn't know, just me having known these children their entire lives, I'm like, oh yes, I could tell you 100% which twin was born first.
That's so funny.
Even though it's 4 minutes, it doesn't really make a difference in the scheme of things, but
the universe knows.
He is so instilled with middle child energy. It's unreal.
That's so funny.
I adore him, but I'm like, oh, you are such a middle child.
You knew, and you made it your entire personality without knowing. Mm-hmm. There was no way you could have known, and yet you knew.
At 4, I wish I could know myself that well.
It would be.
I'm in my late 30s.
Yeah. It's fun. I always joke because I was like, I'm an only child, so I don't I got nothing. I got all the old, I got all my own baggage to deal with. I don't have any fun categories to put. I'm just messed up.
I mean, this game is an opus to being an eldest daughter written by an eldest daughter. I'm like, am I unpacking my own trauma?
Just halfway through, you look up. Wait a minute.
You're like, maybe this isn't just a game anymore. This is me trying to spread my trauma to the world so I don't have to handle it myself.
Oh, bye, puppy.
Bye, Kim. She's out in the... She, in particular, has very intense, she's not a hurting, she doesn't have any hurting in her, but she has, I think it's the lab, she just wants to try to space herself evenly between everyone. And my spouse is out and my girlfriend is sick downstairs in her room. So I could hear she moved like halfway down the hall so that she can have a view of the stairs. But also, if I leave this room, she'll know that I'm there.
She's ready to go, no matter what's going on.
Yeah, like she hates when the three of us are in different rooms. Like, because she's like, "Where am I supposed to go? Like, can you all just go to the couch so that I can be on the couch?" Whereas the other one doesn't give a shit. She's probably in bed.
My friend's dog is like that. She'll walk around the house and like check on them. Like, what are you doing in here?
Mhm.
All right. I'm coming,
like,
you know, and then just wander.
We call her. She always like anytime somebody like goes to the bathroom to like take a shower or anything, like she sits outside and we call it holding vigil. She's just like waiting because it's the only door in the house that ever closes.
Mm-hmm.
So she's like, something wrong is happening in there.
Right. What is
and
this?
I will be here when you are done.
When you need me, which is clearly what's going to happen.
Like, I'm here. Because yeah, it's the only door in the house that closes. Because
so funny.
Like, she's like, what's the point? We have 2 dogs and 2 cats. If a door is closed, it's gonna be scratched at. So,
Right, you're gonna have a problem.
Like, no.
That's so funny. Thankfully,
Yeah.
Josie's very old and our apartment is very small. So there's not a lot of different places for us to be. She doesn't really have that problem. Hi, everybody. Welcome to What You Doing, the interview podcast where I talk to cool people about the amazing stuff they're working on. My name is Matt. Today I'm sitting down with Megan. Megan, say hello.
Hello. I'm Megan.
Everyone takes that just a little bit differently, and it's one of the things I appreciate about the show. Megan is our first returning guest, which is very exciting.
Woohoo!
She's so busy. She's a new game coming out from Possible World Games called Homecoming, which I'm very excited about. They've been showing all kinds of previews and little peeks and mechanics and art and all kinds of stuff. And it's just fantastic to see.
Oh, I'm so excited too. I mean, I've seen it. I've been looking at the things as it comes together, but like every little bit, like now that Tyler's like posting the teasers and stuff, I'm just like, oh, I just can't wait for people to see it all, because it's
when it's all together, you know, as opposed to like this little bit and this little bit. It's a whole
like it's a thing that exists.
For people who might not know, Megan, why don't you tell us first a little bit about yourself? If people somehow missed the last episode, which you should go back and listen to. Tell us a little bit about yourself and Homecoming.
Yeah, so I'm Megan, otherwise known as Megan Lynn for the win. Most places on the internet, I use she, her pronouns. I am a New England-based game designer. I mainly write a lot of solo and GM-less narrative-focused games designed to tell stories, to make you feel big emotions. And Homecoming it's simultaneously no different and completely different from anything I've written before, which makes me very excited for people to see it. So yeah, it started off its design as a tarot based game, and now as it is coming into the Kickstarter campaign, it's going to be its own special tarot sized deck of cards, which I'm super, super excited about. That was like my pie in the sky dream when I was first writing it, was to make it into just like a deck of cards. And when Tyler and I were talking about it being published through Possible Worlds, and he was asking me like, what do you see for it? And I was like, oh, well, like maybe just like a nice booklet or something. He's like, why don't we make a deck of cards? And I was immediately overjoyed. So it's a card-based game about the eldest daughter of a very old, very wealthy, and possibly cursed family, as she returns to the family's ancestral home in search of her estranged mother who has gone missing. And her mother is the fifth woman from the family, the firstborn of every generation to just mysteriously go missing. So it's her exploring this house, it's her coming to terms with the relationship or lack thereof that she has with her mother, her relationship with her family and family history as she explores this house that does not want her to be there, and uncovers secrets and history about the family that led them to be in the place where they are now. Uh, is kind of the long and short of what it's about.
I don't want to step on any toes. That definitely sounds like a curse. That sounds like a curse. I'm not like a curse doctor. That sounds like a curse.
It's like a monkey's paw situation. I would is how I'd kind of chalk it up. Is that like it's there are good parts of it, but at what cost?
What?
At what cost? But yeah, it is my first exploration of a I don't want to call it a horror game. It's definitely far spookier than anything I've written, and it's definitely, I'd say, horror adjacent. Um so like that tone was new to me and will be new to folks who have played previous games of mine. It's heavily inspired by um What Remains of Edith Finch, um and Gone Home, like that kind of like exploration, environmental storytelling, discovery type games, with a little bit of Bluebeard's Bride and Betrayal at House on the Hill, as far as just like uncovering things room by room and exploring and making your way around in the world one room at a time. So I kind of melded those things, all of which I love a lot, even though I'm a baby and I hate scary things. I love all of those things. Um, and yeah, and Homecoming is what came out of the cauldron when I poured all of those things, plus some of my own trauma, into a cauldron, and out came Homecoming.
That's every piece of art, right? Is this and this and this, and then I push my own feelings through it, and then Megan was wonderful enough to send me a preview doc to look at. So I spent, gosh, probably like an hour reading through the doc. I made a specific point to not read like every prompt, but it was one of those things where I'm like, okay, I want to know like what's our setup, what are we going into, and then I would just like page down a little bit and read a prompt, and page down a little bit and I'd read a prompt, and page down, and then I went all the way to the end, and I'm like, let's read like what does the end look like? What are these? How do these systems all fit together? How does this whole series of play look? And I'm really excited to see the final product. I think in the way that like a lot of TTRPGs are trying to move to a system that's like For the Queen, that's kind of open-ended and allows you to take on different characters and different setups and stuff. Homecoming is very, here is the setup, here is the thing, here is, in some pretty large ways, what is happening. And like you said, there's a lot of space in between those moments for you to decide how you feel about it, decide how some of that went out. But by and large, especially the setup, is set in stone. Here it is. What was kind of your concern, or I guess your feelings, maybe not concern. What was your feelings going into a game like this, saying in a way that, like I said, a lot of TTRPGs don't, here is the story.
Yeah, I first start let me think. I so the whole idea of the game came to me, um so the opening lines of the game, and I'm not looking at it, so I'm gonna see if I can remember, is like, "Your father's family is known for being, like, artisans, crafters, and your mother's family is known for disappearing." And it was legitimately like I remember it so clearly. I woke up, it was like 6 AM, like, with that line in my head, immediately grabbed my phone and, like, furiously typed it into my notes app, and my girlfriend, like, rolls over and is like, "You had a game idea, didn't you?" And I'm like, "Yep," and she rolled back over and went to bed. Because it has happened multiple times that, like, all of a sudden I'll just stop in the middle of something and just furiously start typing something in my phone. And thinking about what that was in letting that, like, churn in my head, I just started thinking, like, what kind of game could this be? And is it okay that it's very unlike your standard TTRPG in that setup? Because, like, and I'm someone who I love the open ended. I love being able to kind of do whatever I want within a story of a game. But, like, this in particular, there was a very specific story that I wanted to tell, and it's an exploration of generational trauma, specifically female or AFAB generational trauma. Um, and I knew that right from the jump that that's what it needed to be. And, like, in the beginning stages when Tyler and I were talking about it and, like, talking about what I wanted out of it, I'm like, the only thing that I am unwilling to change is that you are playing as the eldest daughter of this family. Like, I am, like, knowing that that might steer people away, like certain people away from it, but, like, the story, in my opinion, is so much more impactful and so much, like, that aspect of it means so much to the core of the story. So, and then as I kind of thought about it, it was almost like I was writing a choose your own adventure book, but I was writing like half of it
Hmm.
and then leaving the rest of it for the players to determine. Like, as a designer of GMless TTRPGs, like, I know that there is a fine line that you have to walk between giving players enough guidance to know what you're trying to get them to do, but not railroading them into only one option. Um, and that was a really fine balance when I was designing Homecoming, is making sure, like, that as a designer, like, I'm getting the story out that I want to get out, while also making sure that there is enough space for somebody playing it to make that story their own. Like, how much meat can I put on the bones before it's just somebody reading a novel and it being in its pretending to be a game type
Hmm.
of thing. Like, I wanted to give just enough, but as everything came, like, into play and reading, I'm like, at first I'm like, can a game be like this? And one of my very, very good friends, Anna Landon, who's an amazing artist and TTRPG designer, I sent her, like, the very first draft of it, and woke up one morning, like, a couple days later, to, like, this giant message from her just being like, this kind of broke my brain, but in a good way, because I played this and was just like, a game can be like this. And like, with those, I'm like, so I've carried that with me a lot, like through like all of the edits and the revisions and adding things and taking things away, is just like no, a game can be like this. Just because a lot of games aren't doesn't
Mhm.
mean that you can't have it. Like, and I think of games like Alice is Missing, that is also like fairly structured in how it's played, but also you have so much freedom to make a different story each time you play. And like that's a huge inspiration. Like For the Queen is a huge inspiration on a ton of things that I write. So just like finding that balance between like what is too much and what is not enough. So like there were some prompts that existed in like earlier drafts that like when Tyler did like the first editing pass would be like, this might be pushing them too much in one direction. Like so seeing what we can keep where it is, seeing like what needs to zoom in more and seeing what needs to pull back out. And I think that we've found a really good balance that still like allows players to tell their own story within the context of what is a very setup. Like you are here, you are in this house, you are trying to find your mom. House doesn't want you to be there. Go.
I love that the house is as much of an element as it is. As I was reading through, where did I write this down? Oh, I didn't actually write it down, but I remember specifically thinking that this has like, you specifically said at the beginning that it's not a horror game, but I remember thinking, I'm like, this has like light, spooky element, where there's just that, it's the weird tension moments where there's
Yeah.
nothing directly like horror happening. At least for the ones that I read, there was no like a killer's coming to get you or anything like that. But it was very well conveyed. It was very obvious in the text and the prompts that it's like there is a thing that doesn't want you here, and there is something that's actively like not like pushing back at you, stopping you, distracting you. What do you find it tricky to design a game that narratively is trying to keep the player character from succeeding while mechanically keeping that ball rolling?
Oh, a little, but I think I would credit that balance with having designed multiple Wretched and Alone games. So the Wretched by Chris Bissett was like a very eye-opening game to me, like when I first read it. And the conceit of that game is that you're almost definitely going to lose, but there's a slim chance that you won't. And with Homecoming, it's trying to, so the main one of the main mechanics is that you, the player, have a tracker that is curiosity, um, curiosity and cowardice. There it is. And as you go through the house, like certain events will prompt you to move those trackers up, and whatever reaches the end first is determines the ending of the game. And really, I wanted to focus on that internal struggle of curiosity versus cowardice, like being afraid but being more curious about what's going to happen. And I think that helped shape a lot of the prompts, especially like the more supernatural, spookier prompts. Is I want to create moments that are unsettling and concerning and increase the tension while still making you want to keep going. So like there's the push and pull of I'm afraid and I don't want to be here, but also I have to know what's going on. Like I need answers. So it's the balance of consistently finding more information, like as you go room to room, like finding pieces of family history, finding notes from your mother with family secrets on it, mixed in with the spookiness is the balance of like, I'm scared to be here, but I have to know. And that was the biggest thing for me, is like making it believable that the two things, even though they are in opposition to each other, they can coexist at the same time within someone.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of been my big ask, or the thing that I'm really searching for with a horror TTRPG is the system that recognizes that in a lot of these situations, kind of regardless of setting or genre, like specific genre or like time setting or anything like that, that in a lot of these situations, these characters don't want to be here or are aware of the sort of like imminent physical harm and push through it, kind of like in a lot of the horror, and I feel like it's a thing in horror movies specifically. They have that moment where they're sort of confronted with whatever scary guy, and they have that sort of steeling themselves moment, that heroic moment. And I haven't seen a lot of TTRPGs sort of mechanize that in an interesting way, kind of that idea of you have to push yourself forward. A friend of mine actually has like a really hard time, as though they love horror, they love watching horror movies and TV shows and stuff. They struggle with horror video games because of that exact thing of you, the player, know that this thing is scary and you're going to go through that door and a scary thing is going to happen. And the game is like, all right, they open the door, and you have to make that choice. You have to push the button and open the door.
Yeah. And it's almost like when you're like, why would they do that? It's like, well, because that's how you move the story along. Like the meta answer is they have to. Otherwise, there's no movie, no game, no story, whatever. And it's funny because I am a huge wuss. I cannot watch horror movies, but I'm so fascinated by horror as a genre that like this is one of my dorkiest neurodivergent hobbies is whenever new horror movies come out, I go to their Wikipedia page and I read like the full detailed plot summary because I want to know the story, but I can't sit there and watch it because then it's in my brain and my brain will keep replaying it over and over again because it hates me. But
Stupid
like
brains.
I'm so interested in it as a genre just for like it's such a difficult craft to master, and especially in regards to like being able to elicit specific feelings from people. And that's kind of something that was like a huge inspiration to me while I was writing it, is like I love horror as a concept. My brain does not allow horror movies to pass through my eyes and into my memory because they will legitimately never leave and I won't sleep. But like horror stories, I love. So like wanting to kind of like delve into that, and just like I'm not I wasn't here like, oh, I'm gonna do some jump scares and things like that. Like I just really wanted it to be unsettling. Like I wanted the player to feel uncomfortable because the character is uncomfortable. Like I wanted it to feel unwelcoming, like the house to feel unwelcoming. I want people to be welcome to play this game. Please play this game. I love it so much. But like I wanted it to feel tense and unwelcoming and full of question marks that you can maybe slowly peel away. But it's also designed in a way that you're not going to figure everything out the first time because there's 78 cards and you might only get to 4 or 5 from each suit. So you're not going to get all of the secrets. You're not going to get all of the family history. You're not going to get all of the weird goings on unless you sit down and read them all, which you can. I'm not your mom. You do what you want. But I think being able to have a semblance of replayability, despite the fact that it is a very structured setup and story progression of the game, there is still a huge aspect of replayability because you're not going to uncover everything the first time or the second time. Maybe even the third time. Yeah, like just based on the fact that it's all random.
And then, of course, you have the run where you're like, okay, this is the third time. And then you get the jump scare card and you're immediately scared and you're like, damn. Okay, fourth time. Here we go. It would be very funny if one card that's just like jump scare, immediate fail, and you're like, drat. All right, here we go. You have to have a card that somehow signals to a friend in a waiting room to scare you.
That they just come up and shake you a little bit.
What's funny was speaking about like the tension and mysteries of the house and all of this. When I saw this announced, I immediately messaged Megan and was like, "Oh my God, Megan," because my brain is ruined. I was like, "Oh my God, Megan, have you been playing Blueprints?" Because when I saw the initial preview stuff for Homecoming, I was like, "Oh my God, Megan made a Blueprints game." I was like, Megan played Blueprints and made a Blueprints game. And I was like, Megan, have you played Blueprints? And Megan was like, no.
And it's funny because I wrote this. So the first draft of this, I wrote probably close to 2 years now. Like it took a while. Like I knew in my heart of hearts, I was like, I can't just stick this on itch and let it go. Like this deserves more, and it deserves more than I can do for it. So I was like reaching out to people, be like, please publish this game. Please publish this game. Please publish this game. So that took a little bit, but it was worth it because Possible Worlds is the perfect home for it to be. But as I saw a lot of people playing Blueprints, a lot of my friends stream video games a lot, and like all of them were playing it. And I was like, oh, that's this. This thing that I wrote a year plus ago. So I'm like, I gotta market hard to the Blueprints people. But like Blueprints is not my kind of game because I'm so impatient when it comes to puzzles. Like if I can't get it immediately, I get frustrated and then I get sad.
You're gonna hate it.
Yeah. Well, my spouse loves games like that. That's like his favorite thing. So I'm like, you can play it. I'll watch. You can play it because I don't have the patience for that.
I'll hang out and you do whatever.
Yeah. He's like, he loves being like stumped by puzzles forever. I'm like, I couldn't be me. Could not be me.
You have to play like Professor Layton where it's like, here's the puzzle. And you're like, C, no, fuck. B, right.
That was me trying to play, like the first time I played a Phoenix Wright game. I'm like, oh, this will be so easy. And I'm like, oh my God, you actually kind of have to know laws. Like, no.
That's such a funny response to that game because half of the time with that game, you have to call out the wildest inconsistencies where it's like, I know you were wrong because of this napkin with curry sauce I found. And you're like, why would that be all right?
Yeah. I'm like, dude. I do enjoy that game. I need to be in a very specific brain space to be able to enjoy it without hating myself or the game. Like whoever pisses me off first, myself or the game. But like, I have to read like every word. I have to look at everything. I can't just like figure it out.
Can't go off of vibes and the couple words
No.
I got while I was mashing hay. All right.
Yeah.
It's good to know that about yourself, though. It's good to good to recognize that.
Yeah, I like to think I'm very self-aware, especially in regards to my own faults.
I'm crystal clear. I'm locked in on those. What's wrong with me? Boom. I'm right there.
How much time do you have? I'm built different. Incorrectly.
I'm built different poorly, and here are the ways.
Yeah. My warranty is so voided.
So you mentioned you had the idea, and you were kicking around for a while, and you were shopping it around. What was ultimately what ultimately brought you to Possible Worlds? And I don't want to assume anything even in asking a question. I have no idea how this whole flipping process works. How did you
Neither did I.
how did you land at Possible Worlds? How'd that all go?
Yeah, so Tyler's been a friend for pretty much as long as Possible Worlds has existed. So I picked up and had done some streams of Beak, Feather, and Bone right around the time it first came out, which is still to this day one of my all-time favorite TTRPGs. I love it so much. And he had reached out to me after I had done a stream of it just to be like, hey, thanks for supporting the game, like blah, blah, blah. So we had been like on friendly terms, like chatting, like I love everything that Possible Worlds has put out. So like big supporter. We would like meet up at PAX and just like chat and things like that. And then when I was thinking about like publishers that I could reach out to who produce games like Homecoming that are very indie, like pretty niche, like not like a one shot, like a one-off, one session game, not a book, you don't play it with dice. Like there was a lot about it that I'm just like, this isn't something that I can just like shop around to a lot of traditional TTRPG publishers. And on an absolute whim, because I didn't know what I didn't know at the time is that Tyler was already in talks and had plans to expand and start publishing other creators under like a Possible Worlds umbrella. Because up until that point, it had just been his designs and it was all his games, but was starting to branch out. So like on a whim, I sent him an email. I was just like, hey, I wrote this game. Not like, I know it needs more than what I can do for it. Like, do you have any interest in potentially publishing it? And that was kind of it. Like, and he had responded and was like, funny you should say that because yes, I do. Like, I want to publish more things. He's like, let me take a look at this and I'll get back to you. I'm like, cool. Like, if nothing else, foot in the door, great. Kept sending it out to like other publishers. But like in my heart of hearts, I was just like, if it's not Possible Worlds, like I don't know if I can find it a home that would be better suited. So I was just like, please like this game. please want to have a part of this game, like please. And luckily he did want to. So came back to me and was like, hey, let's get on a call. Like, I'd love to talk more about it. And over the last like year or so, it's been a lot of bits and a lot of looking at artists and looking at art and just figuring out, like, we figured out what we wanted it to be like in a physical product form. We figured out like what the vibes were, like what we wanted it to be. And like he's always been a wonderful supporter of my design, like just as a friend and fellow designer. But like having him as a partner during like through all of this has just been wonderful. Like he's so supportive, like he is so passionate about bringing about like showcasing like indie designers and things like that, and like using the reach that he has found like through possible worlds to in paying it forward and highlighting other designers. So like it's just great when like the like there he's so passionate about it, and it makes it so much fun to work with him. And as someone who's been a fan of his work for years now, like it's still a little surreal that like I've written a possible worlds game. Um so it it happened, it couldn't have turned out better. So I'd say I got really lucky. Um but yeah.
What was, let me start that again. How much of the game was done when you started considering the physical aspect?
Huh.
Like when
It
you had the conversation that like you mentioned earlier when Tyler was like, "Well, what if it was cards?" You know, what did the game look like at that point?
it was done. Or the whatever draft number it was. So I wrote the game. The first draft I wrote like in 4 days. Like I don't know
Just
what came over
fevered.
me, but it it honestly felt like I was just like in a fugue state for like 4 days. And then when I came out, I had written 30,000 words of this game. And it's even longer now because if we added a lot of stuff, like as far as like end game stuff goes, like we added a lot more. But so the draft had been done. The first draft had been done. And I think it was probably like the second draft or like 2.5 was the version of it that I had been sending out to people. Um, so between like that time, between like me finishing it and like getting to a point where like I was talking real, like talking not in hypotheticals about what I wanted the game to be. Um, in my mind, I had always wanted it to be cards,
Mhm.
but knowing that myself as a designer, project manager, fulfillment center, marketer, social media manager, party of one, I just logistically was
Mhm.
like, I don't have this skill set. Um, being an indie TTRPG designer has forced me to learn a great many skill sets. That is, manufacturing is not one that I have. I know where to go to print a zine, but beyond that, I'm like, I don't know. So in my mind, it was so much harder. So I hadn't brought it to him initially, and then he had brought up like the idea of it just being completely self-contained, so that everything you need to play the game is in this box of cards. Like you don't, it's not a zine and you need a deck of tarot cards and you need dice, which is how I initially designed it. Like we reworked a lot of stuff. So now it's like everything you need is in this box of cards. There's going to be a little like rule booklet and then the deck. Um and I loved that idea. because I love, like, I carry around For the Queen in my purse a lot. Um, because you never know when you're gonna have like 45 minutes to kill.
You never know.
And I like that. Like, I like the idea of it being like this self-contained thing that like this is all you need. Um, so I was like, oh, like my pie in the sky is to have like this magnetic closure, like flat box and like all this, and that's exactly what it's gonna be now. And it's really cool. Um, so from the jump, that's what I wanted it to be, but it was almost like I was too afraid to ask for it to be that until he was like, "Well, what if it's this?" I'm like so many times he's come to me with an idea or like wanting an opinion on something, and we have been on the exact same, like there has not been a single time that he's been like, "All right, here are options like ABC, like what do you like?" We are like, at one point he was like, "You're gonna start thinking I'm disingenuous because everything, like, even if it's like, well, I like this part of B, but like I like this of C, so if we could like combine them." He's like, "That's exactly what I was thinking." So like it also helps that like we were just so on the same page and it came together so well because we were so on the same page. Um, but also it's nice to have somebody to like bounce those ideas off of and have somebody who really knows the business side of the business, which is definitely like my area of weakness, is like the businessy side of things. Um, so like having him be like, no, like this is possible. Like what you want to do is doable. And not only is it doable, it's fairly easy. I'm like, oh, excellent. Like, I'm
Oh,
in.
well, good. That's I definitely wanted it to be one, doable, but two, easy.
Yeah.
That's great.
So few things in life are.
Right. Like,
So,
oh, it's doable,
like,
sure, yeah.
how unexpected.
I love this sort of Cinderella story of this game coming together of just like I have this idea and maybe it's this, and he's just like what if it was? Just
what if, what if it was?
yeah, what if what if it could
Oh,
be? That's great.
yes.
It's
Yeah.
been very exciting. Every new sort of little set of previews for the Possible Worlds games, because I remember when the Rascal article came out of just sort of how novel it was on the face of it to say as a publisher, we're doing these mini games. We've got a lot of
12,
games.
yeah. Like there's 12 games from 12 different indie designers like on the docket for the next couple years, and it is incredible company to be a part of. Like, talk about the Rascal article, like, because I had known of like 3 or 4 of them ahead of time, that that Tyler had told me about. So like I was aware of some of them, but then just like reading them, and not only is it like all these games by all these different indie designers, like there's such like a span of tones and themes, and yet it all still, each, like reading the descriptions, like they all still feel like Possible Worlds games. Like there's just something about a Possible Worlds game that has a specific, there's just something to it, um that even though you can have a bunch of different tones and themes and styles of play, like it all of the Possible Worlds games like feel like they have a unifying like core, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. They somehow have this just like one thing that carries through, that you're still able to
Yeah,
put it
there's
all
like an
together.
intangible something that's there.
Mm-hmm. I love you mentioned like you knew a couple. Like I just love the idea of the article coming out and just like oh, here's the big list of stuff with all my games, and then it's just like wait, hang on, all of the hang on, wait a minute.
Yeah. And I'm just like, and it's like these designers who work I respect and adore, and then like friends who I didn't know had been doing. So I'm like messaging people like, why didn't you tell me that you were doing this? And they were like, why didn't you tell me that you were doing this? Like, so it was really fun. Like that was a really fun, like 48 hours on like the TTRPG Blue Sky, is just like seeing everybody being so excited about it. And I was excited because it's like, yeah, that's me. Like my name's the first one in that list of games, but also it's like, but look at all of these other creators that we're celebrating, and getting to be sharing a byline in this campaign with James is incredible, because he's a designer that I just respect so much, for like everything that he does in the space. So getting to be Kickstarter twins with him and his game, which looks incredible. It's very surreal for me. Like I still, in a lot of ways, feel like I'm still just like this baby game designer, and this feels like the first like big thing. Like which it's not. Like I've done a fair amount of stuff, but like there's just something about this that just it feels like so big and special.
I love it, and it's a thing that I loved about that article was it wasn't here's the news of like we're doing this game, and then another article that's like we're doing this, almost like press release style. It really felt intentional to say like we're celebrating all of these people, we're celebrating that we're doing all of these works and all of these games. It made that for what was essentially a press announcement to be like we're putting out some games, Kickstarter, check it out. It felt like such a moment. It felt like such a moment of excitement.
Yeah, because I think it's like it's something that small studios like we haven't seen before in the space. Like it's one thing if like your Wizards or your Paizos or your Free Leagues are like, oh, here are 12 games we're putting out. It's like, yeah, of course you print money. Like, but like to have a really small but like very well regarded publisher to be like, here we go, look what we're doing. And that was part of the intention too, is that like Tyler wanted to do this as a way to like show other indie publishers that this is something that they could do too, is to like a rising tide lifts all boats. And it's so hard to get a foothold in this space that's like so dominated by the larger companies. So any help that indie designers are able to give to one another is really valuable and really appreciated. And so it feels great to be somebody being lifted, and then it also feels great to be able to help lift some other folks too who might not otherwise get their stuff seen.
It's been interesting the last few years to see a number of designers intentionally take the lessons that they've learned with publishing and manufacturing and fulfillment and take that moment and step back into those roles and really lean on that knowledge. I'm thinking as a great example, Ray Chow, who, I was talking to not that long ago with MythWorks, very specifically saying like, okay, I've made a game. I've gone through the whole process. I know how to do all of this. I'm going to wrap that up. And that's going to be my main role going forward, is we're going to make sure that we get all of this. I know all of these processes. I know all of this, because from everybody I talk to, that seems to be the hardest part of the entire situation. Like as hard as it is to make a game, it also seems incredibly hard to take that game and then game at the other end.
Only step one. Like there's so much to it. So that's, yeah, like having folks who are willing to step into that role to help others is fantastic. Like I can run a Kickstarter, and I can do everything myself. But like when it comes to like the capital B business of game design, like it's not something I know a lot about, and it's honestly not something I want to know a lot about. Like I just want to write games.
Mm-hmm.
I want, like, at the end of the day, like I write games because I love to write games and not because I want to be running a one-person business, although I am running a one-person business because I write games. But if I'm able to benefit from somebody else who A, knows a lot more, and B, is willing to do the businessy business side of things, I'm absolutely going to be like, please do this, and I will work on making the game the best game that it can be, because I don't need to think about the business stuff.
Right. You know that it's handled, it's taken care of, it's great. Cool. Now you can make the game and you're all set.
Right.
It's going to be really interesting the next couple years, I think, with whatever the hell happens with things coming into and out of the country that we're both in,
or lack thereof.
Right. Like coming or going, who knows? And I've seen a couple people talking about this sort of resurgence of printed home stuff, zine stuff. And I don't know, is that a thing that you think about as a designer when you're working on an idea? Like, how much thought do you give to what the final physical product might look like in the designing process?
Honestly, I give it zero thought. And that's solely because I am not, like, being a just me production. I know that the chances of even most of my games existing in a physical form is slim, solely because I cannot afford to print them. Like there are certain, I guess I'll say this. There are certain games that within some form, as I'm writing it, there's something that'll click and go, I want this to be a physical game. Like when I was designing Sanctuary, I was like, I need this to be a physical game. When Dylan and I were designing Hunter Hunted, when I was doing Oh Patron Mine, like I'm like, I need these to be physical games. And then there are other games that I design, and because I came into the TTRPG space largely playing TTRPGs online, most of my games, when I design them with the concept of playing them virtually as the forefront. Like when I'm designing, my default is this: how can this game be played virtually? Because that's how I played 90% and still play 90% of my TTRPGs is virtually. So that's always my forefront, is I design with playing in a virtual space as the forefront, which means that a physical product is in the back of my mind. But I don't know, I just get this like gut feeling sometimes, and I'm like, this needs to be real. Like not even real. It's always real. A PDF is a game. A PDF is still a game. A game is not real when you print it. Like, but there are certain games that I'm just like, I need to hold this. And I'll have ideas of what it'll look like and things like that. But like there's just a moment during the design process, and sometimes it comes right at the beginning. Sometimes it comes after the game is done, and I'm looking back through it and I'll be like, all right, maybe this, like, I want to hold this. um but generally speaking, I don't think like that. Homecoming, from the jump, I just felt was different. Like there was just something about it that like I just, it's like you're a kid that you just want to see it succeed. Like I'm like, I just want so much. I want the world for you. Like it's something that I'm so proud of, and something that I couldn't have ever pictured myself designing and writing. And like the whole, like it was, I just felt like a some Dickensian widow, like walking around with her orphan baby being like, please somebody take care of my child, give them more than what I can give them. And like that's how it felt, is me just like walking around like clutching this game to my chest being like, do you want this?
Can you?
Do you want this?
Do you want to take care of this child?
And like, and it's like, and I have that feeling with a lot of my games, but like I don't know what it is about Homecoming that's just like I just want people to see it. And I think there's a lot of me in it, and it's so unlike stuff that I've designed. So I'm just like, please like it. Please like this thing that I've poured a lot of time and effort into.
I think you were possessed by a ghost with this game.
Yeah. I honestly think that something happened. I played What Remains of Edith Finch, and then like within that game, and I think like I played it, I'm like, oh, a video game can be this. And then yeah, I think I was just like, something possessed me, and I just woke up out of a fugue state and had written a 40-page book. Was like, oh, okay.
just
I guess we're doing this now.
Yeah, I guess. All right.
Casual 78 in-depth prompts later, I'm like, cool. This is a thing that exists now. What am I supposed to do with it?
Listen, I still have the link to that Google sheet where you made all of those very silly wild magic prompts. That's,
I've got 49 done.
That's so many
out of 100.
That's just like, not for nothing. That's so many.
It's real. It's really long. It's a lot of pages and words.
I
go back to it every now and again and like add one, like every here and there.
I remember when you originally sent it to me, I looked and you had a couple, and I was like, these are very good. This will be very fun. And then I randomly thought about it like a month later, and I was like, I wonder. And I clicked on it because I'd mentioned it to somebody, and I clicked on it, and there were like 20 more, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, we're at 49 last I checked, and I've got the guts of 50 written. I just need to make it sound better because my brain's been in like promo mode and not so much in like creative mode.
That's understandable. You're focusing on getting one thing done.
I mean, not out of creative mode enough to not whip up a quick game and then release it in like 4 days, but it's fine.
It's
feast or famine.
That's every designer. That's the thing I keep realizing is every designer is in this constant like not like assembly line, because that sounds like I'm saying something mean, but just this like, I have the game that's almost done, and then I have the game that's like halfway done, and I have the game that I wrote 3 sentences on the back of a napkin,
and then I have a list of 10 ideas in a list. But what if I didn't do any of these and instead just rapid fire hyper focused and wrote this one game in 6 hours? And it usually happens when it's like I have all of these things and my brain does not want to work on any of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get a stupid idea and you're like, oh, that's it.
What if it was what if it was a Muppet wrestling promotion? And then 4 hours later, you're like, it's done. I can live.
What if a book club was also a TTRPG? Okay.
Well, I mean, hey, that's a great segue to talking about, because I wanted to. I have it open and I read it because of course I did. The West Denison Township Book Club and Amateur Detective Agency.
Mm-hmm.
You posted this the other day, and I was like, you can't do this to me.
I can't do a lot of things to a lot of people, mostly to myself. I love the West Denison Township Book Club and Amateur Detective.
It's so good in the way that small TTRPGs are so good. It's just it's such a funny thing when you have a TTRPG that's not tiny. Tiny's not the right word. When it's like one size of A4 paper. Like I feel like this could be one sheet, but I'd have to go to FedEx to find a size of paper this big.
I actually did print it. It's in my living room. It's 11 by 14. So and we have a larger printer at work. So I printed it at work because I'm like, it still counts as a one-page TTRPG, even if the page is 11 by 14. So it looks like a cool poster.
If it's a size of paper you can buy, that's a one page.
Yep. Yeah. Like, and it's also some of my favorite layout work that I've ever done.
It's so interesting. I sat down and I was like, I should read this before the interview because I want to talk about it and I want to look it up, and I was just like, this is such a silly, fun, cute idea. And what for people who don't know, the West Denison Township Book Club and Amateur Detective Agency is a one-page TTRPG that you play as part of your book club. You don't have to, but you should, because hey, maybe you also have a book club. And you take on the roles of detectives that are also part of a book club. And you investigate murders and goings-ons and events in a small provincial township.
Yeah, and I think it stemmed from me thinking, there are a lot of skills that a really good book club member could have that would also translate into being a good detective. And then I kind of went from there, and the name popped into my head and I was like, oh, yep, we're doing it. I'm like, and then what if the book was your dice and everything like that? I'm like, okay, now we're cooking.
It's so smart to use the book as part of the resolution mechanic, because I feel like it breaks down a really interesting barrier that, like, this might get more people to check it out that aren't more baked into TTRPGs, that have preconceived ideas of what a TTRPG is or what it looks like or what it has to do or what have you, of just like, yeah, listen, you got a book, just, I don't know, get a page. There you go.
Yeah.
It speaks such a simple language, and it's just, I feel like I'm talking it up too much, but I really think this is such a fun, cute idea. There's also the point where you initialize it, the WDTBC parenthetical AADA close parenthetical, and you kept the capitalization, and that gave me a treat. I wanted you to know, if for no one else, I appreciated that.
Well, good. It matters. But that's the thing too. When I was like writing it, I'm like, I think I only initialize it that one time. Like every other time, I'm like, no, you will say its full government name, the West Denison Township Book Club and Amateur Detective Agency. Which my girlfriend mocked me about, because she's like, that is not a name. That is a Fall Out Boy song title. And I'm like, listen, maybe I am an elder millennial. I was shaped by those song titles.
Yeah. Maybe one time when I was 14, I read Champagne for My Fake Friends, Real Pain for My Fake Friends. And maybe that changed something inside of me.
Yeah. But I'm like, hey, if you if you can't handle me at the West Denison Book Club and Amateur Detective Agency, you don't deserve me at my Sanctuary or Sentinel.
It's the I can be your angle, I can be your devil meme, and it's just...
Yep. And it's just the super long book game name or the one-word game name. But it was... That name, I will say, was highly inspired by one of my favorite podcasts, the St. Elwick's Neighborhood Association newsletter podcast, which is... There haven't been new episodes in a very long time, but the basic premise is Mike Wozniak, who is a brilliant British comedian who I adore, does this podcast, and the premise is that the St. Elwick's Neighborhood Association newsletter can't be put to print anymore because they lost funding. So instead of printing the newsletter, he's doing a podcast version of the newsletter, but he doesn't know anything about podcasts. It's very, very dry. Like, it's very dry. But if you like British humor, I think it's absolutely hilarious. It's very dry, but I adore it. But I love that it's just such a giant long name. And I'm like, I can do that.
There's something so intentionally funny about calling it the newsletter podcast and not just podcast.
Nope. It's the St. Elwick's Neighborhood Association newsletter podcast.
That's great. That's so...
Yeah. It's very good. The episodes are short and they feature a lot of really hilarious British comedians. I got into it because I love Taskmaster, and a lot of Taskmaster alums show up in it, and I like being able to go, oh, I know who that person is. But yeah, I love a long name. Yeah.
I love a long name.
And it popped into my head, like, fully formed that long, and I'm like, we're leaning in. Like, this is 100% what the name is, and I will not shorten it.
Homecoming. This game is about playing an elder daughter. I haven't memorized it. Hang on.
The West Denison
Township Book Club and Amateur Detective Agency. This is what it's got to be. Yep. Tyler, don't try to change it. Can you? Okay, I know. Listen, I don't know where we are in the Kickstarter thing. Can we get Tyler to add this as a broadsheet for every Kickstarter backer? Is that a thing we can do?
That'd be so fun. I keep thinking that, like, I kind of want to print a bunch of them and, like, bring them to PAX with me.
11 by 14 is not that big.
No. And it folds up into, like, a zine size if you fold it in quarters.
Could you do, like, a little roll?
Yeah. And even if you don't want to play it, it's beautiful objet d'art to keep around your house. You can frame it and hang it on your wall.
It'll join Epi's game Wolf Spell as the TTRPG that I keep on my wall.
Oh, there we go.
That's the game about playing a wolf that's on the inside of a record album.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's good. I haven't read it because I literally got it and then I bought a frame and then we moved. And so it's just been... I can't stop looking at this game. It's so silly. Good. I'm so taken with it.
I love, anyone who has known me or followed me on social media for even the shortest amount of time knows that I really love, as much as I love your very, like, deep, introspective, feelings-based games, I love a silly game. I love a silly game. In fact, I'm getting almost ready to, it's in the layout stages now, and I'm not laying it out because I don't have those skills. A compilation shitpost zine that has, I think, 10 of my shitpost games.
Great.
All compiled into one zine, lovingly titled "They're Your Problem Now," is what the zine is called. So that's, the layout is getting finished up. And I'm going to be releasing that when it's done. That was a promise at the end of the Oh Patron Mine Kickstarter. It was like, if we can hit this goal, I will hire a layout artist to lay this game out, and I will release it for free. And then we hit the goal. I'm like, all right, we're doing it.
I love that.
But yeah, I love a silly game. Like the horrors persist, and I am determined to remain silly. And like if I can just make something that makes it even one person just go, Megan. And that's all I need. Like I just
it's
like,
such a it's such a specific as also a silly little guy. It's such a specific feeling of just someone going like yeah.
I got him. Because that sound isn't like, ugh, why did you make this? It's, why do I like this?
That was good, and I hate that you make me think it's good.
It's like it's the exasperated sigh of, I can't believe you made me like this silly thing.
How dare you? How dare you be silly?
And it's been great because it's been fun. Like ever since I like first posted, just like seeing people like be really excited about it, because a lot of the times like I write games for me. Like if I'm the only one that likes it, that's fine. But like seeing people latch on to games, like especially when I don't expect like a big reaction about it, like it's so fun to just like see so many people being like, I love this. And I'm like, yes, I also love it. So thank you for making me feel a little less of a weirdo for having written this silly thing. like when a silly thing I create finds its audience, that is the ultimate success. Cause I'm like, yes, we are all just silly trying to survive unprecedented times. Like, let us just be silly. And be crime solving book club people.
My greatest hope is that someone starts a book club to play that game.
That's all I want.
Like, do you know how many Agatha Christie books there are? Like, just lean into it. Have a good time with it.
Yeah.
Read Agatha Christie. You'll get the, you'll get the murder mystery tropes, and you'll be great. And you're reading.
Yeah.
And that's good.
And you're reading. I think that's also some of it too, is like I've started reading so much more that like I've always like, I love reading, I love writing, but there was like the last like few years like just fell off. And this year especially, I've been like going so hard reading, and so now it's like all I think about is like, what books can I like recommend to people? What books can I read with people? Like what?
I love it.
Books are great.
It's fun to share activities with people, especially like activities you don't have to do together, because spending time with people and sharing an activity together is great. But there's something so special about like recommending books that are such a time investment and such a like
and then we'll circle back.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah. Okay, like you should check this out. And then like 6 weeks later, okay, I read it. I'm ready.
Yeah. And like for books, like for me, it always feels like it's one thing to just be like, oh, I read this book, it's pretty good. But like when there are certain books, like I have certain books that I love like so intensely, and then I recommend them to people, and it brings me so much joy when they'll come back and be like, oh, I like, even just like I started reading this, I'm like, yes, like because in a way it's like you are now going to know me better by reading this thing that is so important to me. Like I feel that way every time I recommend anything by Becky Chambers, especially, is just like, if you read this book, you will understand so much of who I am. Like, so that's always really fun to when it's a book that like I deeply care about.
I feel like you got to prep people for those. You have to let them know like this is an important one.
Yeah, like it's like there's a Bob's Burgers meme gif or whatever that's like, he's like, I don't want to oversell it, but it's going to change your life. And I let people know because I'm a neurodivergent straight shooter. I'm like, I need you to know, like, this book is my favorite book. If you do not like it, you cannot tell me that you do not like it.
Lie to me.
Because I know that even if you do not like it, you are not attacking me personally, but I will interpret it as an attack on me. Because this book is part of my being.
I'm telling you,
Luckily,
in this moment of lucidity, I will take it personally.
Yeah, it's like, I understand it is not personal. In the moment, I will not understand that. In this moment, while I'm telling you, luckily that has not happened. But there's certain ones that it's the precursor. I'm like, I just need you to know this is important. If you do not think you will like it, don't even start it.
Right. Is it not of interest?
Just keep telling me that you'll be like, oh yeah, it's on my list. That's all I need.
I'm getting around to it.
Yeah.
I got a report at work. It's very busy.
But it's also, I kind of like hold books like that, like close to the vest, that like I only like it's the push and pull between like, I want everybody to read these books, but also like,
this is my book.
You have earned. I'm not gatekeeping my favorite books, but in a way I am, because it's like telling somebody your secrets. You're like, okay, you have reached a high enough level to unlock book recommendations.
We're romance level 3, and so now I can tell you that one of my favorite books is
exactly. It's like, yes, like I have like one coworker that I recently started recommending books to, and it took like 2 years of like talking to them consistently and realizing that we have like a lot of the same tastes for me to finally be like, okay, here's some books that I think you should read. And they're like obsessed with them, which I'm like, yes, I knew you would be.
Driving to work that day, like, I think I'm gonna do it. I think we're gonna.
You're like, I think today's the day.
I'm glad that worked out, because that would have been, you might have had to leave.
Well, they work in a different office, so that's fine.
Oh, that's good. That's
good. It would have been really awkward.
Pass them in the hall. They're like, hi, Megan.
Be like, you're dead to me.
I can't. I need
be
to
like,
be.
Oh, I didn't know this office was haunted. Did you hear something? It was the wind.
That'd be so funny. That'd be so cold to say right to someone's face. I didn't know this office was haunted. That's wild.
I wouldn't put it past myself to say it.
See, again, it's good to know yourself. It's good to know.
Yeah. For better or worse, it's really important to know who you are.
I could be really petty. Yeah, I think I could.
Heck yeah, I could do it if I need to be. If the situation called for it.
if someone called me on the phone and said, I have to be incredibly petty or a bomb is going to blow up. I think I can find it in myself.
I'd be like, oh, is it?
We're saved.
We're good. We're good. Don't worry.
So silly. All right. We're getting near the end of our time together. So let's talk about homework. So homework, for people who don't know, if this is somehow your first episode, welcome. Homework is a thing where I ask the guests to bring a couple things that they like, that they're excited about, that they want to share with you, in the sense that the podcast is me sharing things that I'm excited about with y'all in the first place. So, Megan, what do you have?
The current hyper focus that I'm super, super excited about is the game Tiny Bookshop. As you may have picked up, I like books.
You know, it's strange it didn't really come up, but you know, I got it.
So a streamer friend was playing it, and my girlfriend was watching them and then downloaded it. And the other morning, like over the weekend in the morning, she put it on like the TV and was like, "Oh, you have to see this game." I'm like, "Okay." And literally like within 2 rounds, I'm like, "Can I play one?" And then she didn't get the remote, and then she didn't get the controller back for like 3 hours. And then I immediately downloaded it on my own Switch and I've been playing it nonstop. Um, it's so cute. It's so cozy and brain empty, and I love books. So that's probably been like the biggest hyper focus, like super excited about thing. My other hyper focus, super excited about thing is I've been reading. I've been reading. Um,
See previous statement about books.
yep. I read. I've been reading the Southern Reach series, which is probably best identified by the first book in the series is Annihilation, which is what the movie Annihilation is based on. Which is a movie I have not seen because, as previously stated, I do not like scary movies.
Mhm.
However, I picked up Annihilation at like this cute little local bookshop. Um, on I picked it up because it was on an anti AI like end cap that says books so messed up, no, only the human mind could have written them.
That's a good
And that's how
description.
you and that's how you're gonna get me. So I read Annihilation, um, like like a feral creature. I tore through that book. Immediately ordered the next two from another local bookshop. I will say that I think Jeff Vandermeer catfishes you a little bit with that series because Annihilation is like 120 pages long, and then Authority and Acceptance, which are 2 and 3, are like 330 pages long. So they're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get my hooks into you, thinking that you're just getting a short little read and that the consequent books will be short little reads, and then you're gonna show up to the bookstore to pick up the books you ordered online, and they're gonna take out these 2 honking books and be like, 'Here you go.'" Um, but I've also been fairly devouring the other 2, so I'm like halfway through the 3rd book
Now,
now.
now, Megan, I don't think that's very fair of you to say as a person who loves to do shitpost little games and then big, heavy experiences. I don't
Alright,
think.
that's nobody likes the taste of their own medicine, I guess is what this is. Like, I don't wanna it's the most disgusting thing in the world is my own medicine.
Right.
But it something about these books, and I will talk about them with anyone who will listen. I think my partners are getting very sick of me talking about these books. Um, is like I guess the prerequisite is I hate surprises and I hate not knowing things, and like I like spoilers. I like knowing. I don't like going into things blind. I don't like not being able to figure out where something's going. But there's something about these books. I don't have a damn clue where that story is going, and I love it. Like I love not knowing and I love not being able to figure it out, and that has literally never happened to me. Like I hate not knowing. And so I'm just like there's something about these books that are just like is a part of me that is not activated often, which is the enjoyment of the unknown. And I think it's just a testament to how cool of a story it is. Um that like it's written in a way that you get like for every little bit of answers you get, you also get like a dozen new questions, but you keep getting fed enough answers or like threads connecting that you're like, "Oh, okay." And you don't even worry about all of the other questions. You're like, "Yeah, but there's this." Um so that's another thing I've been really loving. And let me
I
hmm.
was gonna pick that book up. I actually saw it in. We went to a bookstore in Asheville, and they had the second one,
Was it
and
Malaprops?
no, we went to Firestorm, but we want to go to Malaprops. We just haven't gone when they've been open.
We I went to My husband and I went to Asheville in May for our anniversary, and first of all, I freaking love Asheville. Like I immediately wanted to move there.
Mhm.
But we spent like an hour and a half in Malaprops.
I'll have to remember. We wanted to go, and it just the last time we were up there, we just couldn't. So I'll have to make a point the next time we're up there.
But yeah,
they had the second book only, but it was a gorgeous paperback.
the 10th anniversary covers are so cool. And that was something that like drew me to it also. Is just like, what is happening here? Like the covers are so cool. And I think it like perfectly encapsulates like the feeling of those books, that it's just like some parts of it are right, but it's a very mutated like part, like it's it's changed, but there's some recognizable parts of it. And I think that's like the whole thing about like Area X, like that spot, is that like it's just off of normal. Like you can tell that things started normal and now they are not. So yes, would highly recommend for anyone. Like, I'm a baby, I don't like spooky stuff. The books are not that spooky. It's more just like an unease of not knowing. But like so good. So good. And now there's gonna be a pause. Let's see. I'm such a creature of habit is the thing too. Like there's like, oh, what's bringing me joy? Halloween Baking Championship is bringing me a lot of joy. The new season starts in about 2 weeks. It might already have started by the time this comes out. But I love baking shows. I love cooking shows. Anything on Food Network, I love. And I have been No Thoughts Head Empty rewatching all of the old seasons of Halloween Baking Championship to prepare myself for the new season of Halloween Baking Championship. And like I'm someone that, as previously stated multiple, like I'm neurodivergent. I really like routines. I don't really like, I have to be in a very specific brain space to like want to watch new stuff. Whether it's new episodes of like shows that I've watched already or just like something completely new. Like it takes a lot of build up in my brain to like want to watch something new. So I tend to rewatch a lot of stuff. And right now it's Halloween Baking Championship and Taskmaster. But there's something about competitive cooking that I just really love. Because like in a lot of reality competition shows, like you can always tell like there's just like such a vast difference in skill sets. But I feel like you don't get to the point where you're doing a cooking competition unless you are very skilled. And it's very fun to watch people at the top of their game who are very, very good at what they do, doing what they do best. And I think that's what I like about it, is that like there's no drama, there's no like cattiness. Like it's just people who love what they do it really well, just like making cool stuff. And I think that's what I like about it, is that it's like, yeah, like it's just, it's fun to watch people do what they love to do. And also the desserts look really yummy. So there's that.
That's such a big thing for me for those sorts of like reality competition shows, is I really dislike ones that lean heavily into drama. Especially the drama that you get in these sorts of shows, like the manufactured reality, like he stole my nut. Like that's nonsense. That's like I find that so unappealing. And luckily, a lot of cooking competition shows generally don't have that, because like you said, the point is to showcase in all aspects. It's like it's the Iron Chef model, right? Like everyone here is incredibly skilled and good at what they're doing, and what we're doing is we're putting you on a time limit. What can you do?
Right.
And that's what's exciting and interesting.
Yeah, I hate manufactured drama. Like, which is a shame because I really love Drag Race. But I end up like a lot of the times I fast forward through a lot of stuff. Like if there gets to be like high drama, I'm like, it just makes me uncomfortable. I'm like, I can't watch this.
I wouldn't want to be in this room with all the shouting, so I'd
no. Like, yeah. Oh, no. as soon as a raised voice happens, I'm like, like my body is reacting to a stimulus, whether I like it or not. Here we go. And we're gonna fast forward to the runway.
So my homework this time, I'm gonna give Megan 2 little ones based off of what you said. Have you seen Big Brunch with Dan Levy?
No.
So Big Brunch. So Dan Levy, who you might know from
Schitt's Creek.
From Schitt's Creek. He wanted to do a cooking competition, and he was like, "I want to do a cooking competition show. I don't want any drama. It's going to be based around brunch." And it's a fantastic show. Everybody in it is great. One of the celebrity judges is Sola Awele from previously Bon Appetit. Yes. This was like just after the Bon Appetit stuff where she started to do her own stuff. It was right after that. It's fantastic. Everyone they have, all of the contestants are on the show to win the money to benefit the like local efforts and organizations that they work for, providing food for like their community and local orgs and stuff. Like, so everyone there is essentially playing for charity, but it's just they're like their individual charitable efforts, which is fantastic.
Right.
Like it's just such good vibes. Everybody there is so good. They all help each other. They're all working with each other in this. So like talking about cooking shows with no drama, perfect choice.
I will have to look that up. That sounds so up my alley.
And then the second one is my partner and I just started this, so I'm not 100% on it, but I think I can recommend it well enough. On Netflix, it's called Culinary Class Wars. It is a Korean cooking competition show. We got through sort of the first act of it, and the sort of the setup. The premise is there's 100 chefs, and they're all competing to win the prize money. The problem is, on one side of the field are 80 of the chefs, and those 80 chefs are incredibly skilled, talented, and known restaurateurs, business owners, chefs, like celebrity chefs, private chefs, that sort of thing. When they're doing the intros, like they're listing off like a lot of people's bona fides, and you're like, wow,
Michelin
like these
stars and all that.
Well,
stuff.
So no Michelin stars, very specifically.
Oh,
the other 20 chefs are 20 of the best chefs in all of Korea, including Michelin star winners. And the game is the 80 chefs that are called the Black Spoons, and then versus the 20 chefs that are the White Spoons. And the first competition is where we had to pause because we'd finished eating. You can't not watch when you're done eating. You have to pause the TV show. Is the 80 chefs are going through the first elimination round where they're whittling down to 20 to take on the 20 white spoons.
cool.
Yeah, it's a really fun idea. It's really interesting to see, especially because it's from Korea and there's such a big gap of like, I was watching the beginning because none of the 80 chefs like use their names. They use monikers. One guy is really known for making yakitori, and he's Yakitori King. And I was like, I bet you if you're somebody in Korea, you know all these people, and you're like, I know this guy from this, I know this guy from this, and it's such a fun thing. And then for us, it's just like, all right, cool. I don't know any of these people.
That's how I feel. Like I know so many like Food Network chefs now that like when they show up on things, I'm like, oh, well, that sounds almost to me similar to it's called 24 and 24, which is a cooking competition. It's a 24-hour cooking competition.
Oh no.
Where it starts with 24 chefs and it's a new challenge every hour.
Oh gosh.
For 24 hours.
Oh
and
gosh.
they like eliminate people with each challenge. And like by the end of it, it's like I think there's 3 left going into like the last hour. And then you win a bunch of stuff.
That's wild.
Wild. There's been 2 seasons of it, but like it's so intense, and like each hour tests like a different skill. So it's like one will be like, oh, like one of the challenges was like for plating, and they had to take TV dinners and like plate them to look like so the judges weren't eating the food, they were just looking at it and being like, this look. So they had to take like all this TV dinner shit reheated food and like plate it like it's a 5-star meal. And then they had ones that's just like basic skills that's like, oh, you need to dice 3 onions, chop the like a bunch of like prep stuff. And then like the bottom number where like, so it's all different facets of being a chef played out over 24 hours. And like when you win challenges, like you can win like you get to sit out of the next one so you can go take an hour nap.
I do
that's
like
what you
that.
win. If you win challenges, like you win nap time, basically.
That's very funny, but that's very smart also. We're just like, oh god, I can rest. Thank you.
Yeah, like so it sounds like it's very intense for a cooking show, but it's really fun to watch.
That's fantastic. I like that. I'll have to check that out. Yeah,
it's on Discovery Plus, which is
I think we have that.
$6 it's the best $6 a month I pay. I watch like nothing but Discovery Plus.
But my real homework, the one that I sort of like prepped and thought about, is a new short video essay from Jacob Geller. If you know, I was gonna say if you know me in real life, that's a weird way to describe it. If you follow my social media or if you're in stream or anything, I talk about Jacob Geller all the time. He's a video essayist, talks a lot about video games, but will sometimes veer out of the video game space to connect themes to art and life and the human experience and stuff like that. He's some really, really strong ones. Art Made for Nobody. If I'm putting a secret homework in my homework, that's another really good one. He had one recently called How Well Can You Really Know a Game? Talking about his relationship as a child to video game guides, like Prima guides, and about the first book ever written about video games, which is about a pianist learning to play Breakout, and the sort of reality shattering realizations he had playing it. It's a really interesting examination about the book and how people approach video games, how people play video games, how people who have no experience playing video games can approach them and can get wrapped up in them. It's just a really, really enjoyable, like 25-minute video. So I had a great time with that, and I think people would have a good time with that as well. Yeah. Watch it on Nebula, because Nebula's a little pricey, but it's great.
Hot tip.
But that's we're almost at time, so we got to do the 3 question. Megan, you're familiar with the 3 question. For people who aren't, the 3 question is the final question of the podcast. It's a fun little way to end it. On the first episode, I asked my guest, the amazing star, what 3 guests she would love to have on her podcast, and ever since then, I've asked every guest their top 3 something, and it's something I come up with during the episode. And it's just, like I said, it's a nice, fun little way to end the episode. Before we get into it, Megan, thanks so much for being on. As
Thank
always.
you for having me back.
Yeah, always. I really appreciate, 1, being back, but 2, I appreciate your time. Appreciate making time to be silly and talk about your shitpost games and your real games. Oh, don't say real. No. Ugh, cut that out. Gross. Gross. No. Ugh, I wish I hadn't said that. 3 question. Oh, I don't know if this will get to 3. We'll have to see. I think it's a funny idea. Megan, what are your 3 favorite cooking show challenges that didn't involve cooking food?
Oh.
We've been on a cooking show kick here at the end.
Yeah.
You have to make a cooking game now.
I do have a cooking game.
Oh, what? Hang on.
The Great Goblin Bake Off, which is about 3 goblins in a trench coat trying to win a baking competition that explicitly states that goblins are not allowed to enter the baking competition.
Because of course it is.
It's another shitpost game that I am just extremely proud of because of all of the, like, I made like a judge character generator that I just took all of the tropes of every cooking judge ever, and then I made like a competitor generator. Like,
that's so
it's very
funny.
Cute.
That's so funny.
So I mean, it's a baking game, but you know, I really love watching some they do them for a lot of different things. I can't even think of what the name is, but there's a series on Food Network that's all about like sugar work. Like they do where they'll have a baker and they'll have like a sugar artist and then they have it's like a Halloween thing and then they have like a pumpkin carver
Mm-hmm.
making a display and watching sugar artists is wild because it's so fragile, it's so potentially dangerous because like
Mm-hmm.
sugar burns are like the worst. Um and just like I I'm constantly in awe of artists because I am not an an artist and I mean like writing is an art, but like I can't draw or sculpt or things like that. Like that's not my wheelhouse creatively. So watching people like conceptualize and like build these things and like the pumpkin carvers, like if I'm carving a pumpkin, you're getting two triangle eyes and a toothy smile, and I'm calling it mission accomplished.
I did it. I carved it.
So I think I like integrating things like that into like so it is there's a baking aspect of it, but I
Mm-hmm.
like the idea of integrating different mediums into like one challenge.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I think I had already said the plating the TV dinners challenge on 24 and 24 was so cool.
That's such a smart idea. I really like that.
And I think and I guess it kind of fits the brief, but another show I really love is Wild Card Kitchen, which is poker but with food. But like there's a deck of cards that has like type of food, ingredients, stipulations, like things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hosted by Eric Ajapong, who I adore. But the one of the biggest, like the big thing about it is like it's three chefs and they are betting to kind of like get other people to drop out of doing the challenge, like as the cards say it, because everybody has like a secret card. And that's like then they do go cook the meal as stipulated by the cards, but like the biggest aspect of it is like the bluffing and like the betting, like the poker part of it, which is fun. And I also really like it because generally speaking, like the chefs that they have on it as players, like everybody knows one another, like they're all friends, so it's really fun to just like see them interact. Like it's almost like it's set up to be like an after hours thing, so everybody's just like having a drink, like they're joking around, like so it's fun to see like those relationships between people. Is very fun, and then they eventually go cook and it's the greatest thing ever because they're all world-class chefs. But the gaminess of it is like, of course, within like 2 episodes of watching it, I'm sitting there and my girlfriend's like, "You're gonna turn this into a TTRPG, aren't you?" And I'm like, "I need you to stop." Because yes, first of all, yes, that is in my mind. And two, I cannot have you read me like this.
I was gonna say, so the first thing you have to do is you have to recreate that deck of cards and then
Yeah, you create you create the deck of cards. I'm like, it could be like a build your own session thing. I'm like, yeah, it's on the list. My list is like 20 something ideas long. It's unreal. But yeah, as a game designer, I really love gamifying cooking competitions even more than they're already gamified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when they introduce more elements than just go cook the thing good.
Yeah, like I appreciate cleverness. If I don't know anyone who doesn't, but
no, I like it when
very
it's
clever.
normal. They just cook the food.
Only.
There are people, Megan, it's 2025, and God help us, there are absolutely people that hate it when it's clever. And they're proud of it because they're horrible people.
What a shame.
Ugh.
Couldn't be me.
No, never. Meghan, too clever. You've heard it here. Put it on the box.
Clever to a fault.
Too damn clever. Meghan, again, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for spending time. Go ahead, please let everybody know where they can find you, where they can find the game. These are eventually going to come to Kickstarter, right?
Yes. So okay. I have been and will continue to be Meghan Lynn FTW, which is where you can find me on Blue Sky. Now I'm gonna burp. You can find all of my games at meghanlynnftw.itch.io. You can find physical copies of my games, Hunter Hunted, Sanctuary and Sentinel on Indie Press Revolution. You can find Hunter Hunted, Sanctuary and Sentinel, and Oh Patron Mine on Tabletop Bookshelf, as well as a smattering of other little bibs and bobs on my Ko-fi shop, meghanlynnftw.co/fee or co-fee. And you can find Homecoming crowdfunding during the month of September, starting September 2nd and ending September 26th, alongside the wonderful Cosmic Century Nights, which is a 90s shonen anime inspired game about 100 fancy magical swords, and Chuck by the wonderful Tyler of Possible Worlds Games. And if you back for both Homecoming and Cosmic Century Nights, you get Chuck for free.
That's a deal.
Free. So yes, you can find that on Kickstarter. If you follow me on Blue Sky, I will most likely be posting about it nonstop for the entire month. And yeah, that runs through September, and we're aiming for fulfillment early 2026.
That's reasonable, I think. With everything shipping all together, that seems...
Yeah, we're hoping for a tight turnaround. We're really hoping that we'll have samples to show off at PAX Unplugged in November, where Tyler Possible Worlds will be in a booth, and I will also be there just floating as a nebulous energy. So you can come check out the booth if you're going to be at PAX Unplugged and see what's going on, because yeah, hopefully we should have at least some test prints to let people touch and feel, and you can pre-order if you didn't back on the Kickstarter.
Got to go to the booth and you got to feel the book.
Got to feel. Yeah, got to do a vibe check.
Tyler with the box. Do you want to feel it?
Do you want to feel this?
Just like, no.
I feel like, now that you mention it.
I'm oddly curious. So yeah, the link to the Kickstarter will be in the description. If it's not up by the time I publish it, I'll just edit it. I'll just add it in. I'll whack it in there. So, keep an eye out for it. But yeah, definitely please go follow Meghan, go follow Possible Worlds. All the links will be in the description, so you'll know where to go. There's never any question on that, but that's going to be it for us. Meghan, thank you again so much. Go ahead and say bye, everybody.
Yeah. Everybody.
That's the podcast. I want to thank Meghan so much once again for sitting down and being on the show. I always appreciate the time that people make to be on the show. It means so much. Homecoming is currently available on Kickstarter. The link will be in the description. Like I said, you can pick it up by itself or in any combination of it with Cosmic Century Nights and Chuck. Now, as always, make sure to go follow the campaign, follow Meghan, keep up with what they've got going on. Go check out our itch page, all that stuff. All those links will be in the show notes. While you're down there, you can follow the show on Blue Sky to keep up with new episode announcements and reposts from people who have been on the show, new projects, things they're working on, all of that. I want to try to support stuff that people are working on in a way that doesn't necessarily mean I get them on the podcast, because sometimes that just doesn't work logistically. And sometimes it's a small news update like, oh, hey, my books are available at this new store, or they're available in the EU, or something like that. As always, I'd appreciate it if you rate the show wherever you listen, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Casts, where if there's a way for you to rate the show and give us a review, I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. And don't forget about our discount code with +1 EXP, WD Podcast, all one word, will get you 10% off anything in the store or your first month of your Zine Club membership, which I highly, highly, highly recommend. I'm working on redoing my schedule to give myself a little more time to read during the day. And one of the things I'm really looking forward to reading is all of the fantastic games I've gotten over the last few months from Zine Club. But that's enough out of me. I'm going to go take a stupid walk for my stupid mental health. Until next time, I hope you're happy, healthy, and safe wherever you are. And I'll see you in the next one.